MAPL 2024 Code of Ethics, the Guide to Ethical Leadership. Table of Contents. Preamble. Decision Making. Acknowledgement. Introduction to the MAPL program. Tradition. History. Narrative Statement. Definition of Ethics. Characteristics of an Advocate. MAPL Mottos. Legacy. Dedication. Contributors. Preamble. The 2024 MAPL Code of Ethics aims to serve as the North Star for current and future generations of MAPLers in our pursuit of a better world. We, the Fall 2024 Ethics in Policy, Politics, and Advocacy class, hope this code helps guide MAPLers to navigate the complexities of policymaking, politics, advocacy, and civic leadership. Rooted in compassion, inclusion, and adaptability, this code reflects the shared values and principles of MAPLers, which should serve as the foundation for ethical leadership and effective change-making. This code should also stand as a reminder of our profound responsibility as MAPLers to the communities we aim to serve and to act with transparency, integrity, and honor. Together, we strive to create a better world for those whose voices have been silenced, whose opportunities were limited, and whose rights have been denied. Decision-making statement. The creation of the 2024 MAPL Code of Ethics was a collaborative process led by the 2024 Ethics in Policy, Politics, and Advocacy class. Guided by our instructor, we prioritized a methodology that was democratic, inclusive, and reflective of different perspectives. The contributors of this code aim to ensure all voices were heard, as it is our mission to create a code that was representative of our shared values and the insights provided by the entire class. Hermeneutic Evaluation Statement. We recognize that this ethical code must continue to evolve and be reassessed annually to reflect an ever-changing external landscape and brought together through the collective decision-making of future MAPL students. Acknowledgement. Metropolitan State University acknowledges that we are on the unceded lands of the Dakota and Anishinaabe peoples. Just 12 miles away from Metropolitan State University, the Minnesota River joins the Mississippi River at a place called Bedote, the place where two waters come together, in Dakota. Bedote and the bluff land surrounding Metro State is an especially sacred site, a spiritual and physical place of creation for the indigenous peoples of Minnesota. We encourage each of us settlers or visitors to this land to become familiar with the Dakota and Anishinaabe peoples and their vibrant lives and work. We strive to interrupt the legacy of colonialism and indigenous erasure by supporting efforts to reunite and restore indigenous peoples to the land. This is the definition of land back and why we practice land acknowledgement. Introduction to the MAPL program. The Master of Advocacy and Political Leadership, MAPL, is a cohort program designed to help students learn how to ethically bring about social change and influence public policy. The Advocacy and Political Leadership graduate degree courses offer a combination of theory and practice to help students gain the skills to accomplish the change they want to bring about in the world, as well as to understand the larger context in which they can bring about these changes. MAPL has 3 concentrations available to students seeking to become true masters in public leadership: advocacy in the nonprofit sector, advocacy in the public sector, labor organizing, and leadership.
The MAPL tradition. In MAPL, we have the distinct honor of building upon the Code of Ethics from previous cohorts. The Code of Ethics tradition sets the standard of how we will embark on our service journey. We hold the highest standard for advocacy for ourselves and those around us. We must care for one another. In this code, we lay out the characteristics that uphold our commitment to service. The Code of Conduct is the hallmark of our educational journey and requires teamwork, forethought, discipline, and values. We are system changers and we are advocates who insist on achieving an ethical structure informed by the past and aimed for our futures. We are MAPL. Our Code of Ethics provides the standards we illustrate that inform our work. This Code of Ethics is our assurance of our advocacy of no impropriety whatsoever. By design, the MAPL Code of Ethics reflects guiding principles and values that we subscribe to in the collective community. Since its inception in 2007, the Code of Ethics has served as a manual and staple for the MAPL program. Definition of ethics. Ethics is the practice of aligning one's actions and decisions with principles that promote fairness, integrity, and the well-being of all, guided by the understanding of our interconnectedness in a shared world. Ethics involves exploration and application of moral principles that guide individuals and societies in making choices aligned with their values and ideals. Political ethics specifically addresses the realization of moral values within democratic societies, where citizens and scholars may disagree on what constitutes ideal justice. In a pluralistic society, governments strive to justify policies such as progressive taxation, affirmative action, and the right to basic needs, education, and healthcare. Ethics refers to a set of moral principles that guide individuals and organizations in determining what is right and wrong. It involves evaluating actions and decisions based on standards of fairness, integrity, and respect. Ethics applies to personal conduct, professional practices, and social interactions, providing a framework for responsible and just choices. In politics, a great leader must embody a spirited and kind attitude, showing exceptional care for their community. This approach can distinguish them from others and attract attention and support. Summary of the political ethical traditions we use in our advocacy and political leadership: virtue ethics, utilitarianism, deontology, and pragmatism. In the MAPL program, we utilize virtue ethics by highlighting the character of individuals who we feel embody the spirit of community and growth of the program. In our core classes, we identify and dissect the leaders who appeal to us individually for what they have done in the world. MAPLers engage the world by examining the consequences of our actions. We value the journey that an action takes as much as the outcome. Utilitarianism focuses on the greatest amount of good while focusing on harm reduction, although having the ends justify the means is not a MAPL value. Deontology judges an action based on rules and principles. In MAPL, we are willing to call out unjust laws and judge an action based on our morality. Pragmatism judges the usefulness of an action by its effectiveness and serves as a tool to guide our actions as opposed to black and white worldview. This is our greatest strength as MAPLers, as our truths and lived realities are different from each other. We utilize the stories and strength of our experiences to navigate ourselves into a better world. Influence of the past code on the development of the current code. We do acknowledge that the legacy of colonialism, slavery, and Jim Crow, especially here in the USA, has been the foundation of many social injustices, racial inequities, and the marginalization of specific social groups. This legacy endures today and perpetrates much of the suffering and oppression in our world, taking the form of hate, sexism, unjust wars, and poverty. We also acknowledge that our ability to create a just, fairer, and free world requires our commitment to understanding the value of ethical behavior and holding ourselves accountable to the highest standard in decision-making processes for public policies that affect the lives of our constituents. We owe it to ourselves, future generations, constituents, institutions, the public, and the MAPL program cohorts to hold ourselves accountable to the highest level of ethical behavior as political leaders and social change advocates in promoting ethical change and affecting public policy. As ethical change advocates and political leaders, we are firmly committed to social justice, civic engagement, dignity, open-mindedness, loyalty, humility, knowledge, and respect. History of the Code of Ethics. At MAPL, our mission is to advocate for those who are marginalized. We recognize the historical significance of the ongoing struggles for justice, equality, and dignity in our country. The foundation of America was built on ideals of freedom, equality, and justice that have been undermined by centuries of colonization, slavery, segregation, and systemic oppression. These injustices have bled through our lands, and the cry for help has gone unanswered for far too long. The MAPL Code of Ethics is grounded in the belief that true justice can be achieved by confronting and understanding the painful history of our nation. The inequality that we see today is a remnant of the injustice of the past. By acknowledging our history, we commit to engaging with one another and our society, sharing the responsibility to work toward correcting these wrongs and creating a just and equitable future for everyone. We as individuals will act in a manner that ensures liberty and justice for all and treats everyone as equal while celebrating our uniqueness and appreciating our differences in color, gender, and religion. We believe that the words of the Constitution, the ideas of liberty and justice for all, and the truth that all men are created equal are the compass by which we should direct our society. Narrative statement. The Master of Advocacy and Political Leadership MAPL program is designed to cultivate ethically effective leaders in public policy and social change. As MAPL students and alumni, our ethical principles are deeply rooted in integrity, fairness, and respect for all individuals. These ideas are at the core of what we believe. As MAPL students and alumni, we are expected to embody a commitment to ethical advocacy that demonstrates high moral standards in our work, even while balancing the complexities of policy, lobbying, and organizing. Additionally, we are committed to emphasizing the importance of creating systemic change and ensuring equitable outcomes for our respective communities and their constituents. The optimal character traits for MAPL students and graduates include a passion for social justice, strategic thinking, strong communication skills, and the ability to articulate complex ideas clearly to diverse audiences. We are expected to be resilient, adaptable, and persistent in our work, staying committed to our goals and ideas despite the obstacles that may be placed in our paths. MAPL graduates and alumni are lifelong learners who continuously seek personal and professional development, who stay informed on current issues, and who remain open to constructive feedback. By fostering these qualities, the MAPLers are prepared to become influential advocates who can effectively navigate complex political and social landscapes, use research and data to inform their decisions, and ultimately make meaningful impact in areas such as human rights, labor, healthcare, and environmental justice. Characteristics of individual advocates: honesty and transparency. As MAPLers, honesty and transparency are two of the fundamental virtues that we advocate for without question. When we make decisions or create policies, honesty should incorporate all aspects of leadership that encompass truthfulness, integrity, and sincerity in our words, actions, and interactions with others, regardless of party affiliation or social condition. We should be transparent in our actions, even though they may not be consistent with the goals of others. For as MAPLers, we choose to put the building blocks of honest leadership and credibility over partisan politics or ideas. As MAPLers, we look to be transparent in every aspect of our professional lives to gain, build, and maintain respect of our constituents, peers, and opponents alike. For it is this honest transparency that separates us as we pursue these guiding principles and virtues of advocacy and leadership, which is at the core of our chosen professions. Characteristics of individual advocates: duty and honor. As MAPL alumni, duty and honor are things that we should hold as to our highest standards. We should always conduct ourselves in such a way as to adhere to the responsibilities that we have taken on, knowing that our words and actions should be of such a high standard that our decisions will be above reproach. As MAPL alumni, it is also our duty to fulfill the obligations for which we contract and to ensure that while doing so, we hold ourselves to ethical standards that allow us to provide consistent, knowledgeable, and trustworthy services to our constituents and our communities, placing those aspects of our behavior first and foremost in our lives. Duty and honor are those two aspects of our guiding principles as MAPL alumni that we should never fail to achieve. Characteristics of individual advocates, diversity, equity, and inclusion. To be effective advocates, we must understand that we are advocating for people who may be different from ourselves, and recognize that everyone deserves to have their voice heard. Diversity is the practice or quality of including or involving people from various social and ethnic backgrounds and of different genders, sexual orientations, etc. We believe in equity, which is the quality of being fair and impartial. We believe everyone deserves inclusion, which means creating an environment that values and respects all individuals regardless of their differences. Characteristics of individual advocates: integrity, autonomy, and commitment. As MAPLers, we must always conduct ourselves with integrity, characterized by our honesty, transparency, and trust with our prospective constituents and colleagues, for these attributes are at the core of our advocacy. Our decisions and ideas must be autonomous to allow us to champion causes based on their merits and not by coercive methods that may denigrate and lessen the policies or ideas that we have subscribed to advocate. We must be committed to accomplishing any task that we have agreed to take on, regardless of whether that task was by formal written contract, a handshake, or simply giving our word. Honoring our commitments is also at the heart of the MAPL idea.
Characteristics of individual advocates: respect and trust. Respect and trust are foundational principles in any professional code of ethics. These values are essential pillars in a professional environment, shaping relationships, decision-making, and organizational culture. Every individual, regardless of their role or background, deserves to be treated with dignity and appreciation. Respect fosters collaboration, understanding, and inclusivity in professional settings. Respect focuses on creating diversity. A respectful professional acknowledges and embraces diverse perspectives, recognizing that these differences enrich teams and enhance decision-making processes. Furthermore, respect means honoring personal and professional boundaries and ensuring clear communication and appropriate behavior. It also represents a commitment to equity, which involves fairness and impartiality, striving to treat everybody justly and without bias. Trust is built through honesty, transparency, and consistent ethical decision-making. It fosters confidentiality, which plays a crucial role, as professionals must safeguard sensitive information, honoring the trust placed in them by colleagues, clients, and stakeholders. Trust grows when individuals fulfill commitments and demonstrate accountability for their actions, fostering reliability. A trusted professional creates a collaborative environment where others feel safe to express ideas, share concerns, and work together effectively. Respect is the foundation upon which trust is built. When professionals show genuine respect for others, trust naturally follows, leading to stronger relationships, improved communication, and a culture of mutual understanding. A robust code of ethics that prioritizes respect and trust ensures a thriving and ethical workplace, particularly in working and learning environments such as the MAPL program. The interaction between respect and trust amplifies their impact. Respect lays the groundwork for trust to flourish, while trust strengthens the bonds of mutual respect. Together, respect and trust create an ethical and harmonious professional environment where individuals feel empowered to contribute, innovate, and grow. Prioritizing these values is not just an ethical obligation, but a strategic imperative for long-term success and sustainability. Characteristics of individual advocates: proactive adaptability. As MAPLers, we should conduct our affairs in a manner that anticipates the potential challenges or opportunities in our lives before they arise. Being proactive in our actions and adaptive in the shaping of policy or advocacy that affects our constituents, our communities, and our roles in society. We should never walk backward into the future, waiting for the past to catch us and govern our choices and ideas. And we should be flexible enough in our decision-making processes that, like a chess master, we have responses to potential problems that are several moves ahead. As MAPLers, we know that proactive adaptability in policymaking cannot be done alone, knowing that to achieve the commitments to our constituents and communities, we must rely on the relationships that we make and maintain to ensure the best possible results, regardless of the conditions which may present themselves before us. In that way, we will always provide the best possible leadership we can that is current, viable, and a positive force for change. Characteristics of individual advocates, compassion, and empathy. As MAPLers, it is crucial to allow ourselves to feel both compassion and empathy. Empathy enables us to see situations from different viewpoints. By paying close attention to what others are saying, both verbally and non-verbally, we can better understand the concerns and challenges faced by members of our communities. Once we put a human face to another situation, our perspectives can change, and a situation that we might have previously rejected will be dealt with differently. Compassion goes beyond empathy. In addition to actively caring about another person's suffering, we are compelled to take action to alleviate it. While we may not always be able to do so, meeting someone in their place of suffering and walking with them helps to lighten the load. Having empathy and compassion allows us as MAPLers to make decisions that prioritize the well-being and needs of our communities. When we show our communities empathy and compassion, it builds trust and loyalty, which in turn encourages open communication and collaboration. When we actively demonstrate empathy and compassion, we create a more supportive and inclusive environment where individuals feel valued and respected. MAPL mottos. Politics are how we take care of each other. Love your doubt. There is no they, only we. What does it mean to win? Being on everyone's side is harder than being on one side. Always be just a little dissatisfied. Legacy, what MAPLers should ascribe to achieve. We agree that we as MAPLers should be aware of our impact on others and the mark we leave behind. The following quotes are from leaders that inspire us, and their words live on in us and our work. It's about the journey, mine and yours, and the lives we can touch, the legacy we can leave, and the world we can change for the better. Tony Dungy. What you leave behind is not what is engraved in stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others. Pericles. If you're going to live, leave a legacy. Make a mark on the world that can't be erased. Maya Angelou. Even though your time on the job is temporary, if you do a good enough job, your work there will last forever. Idowu Koyeniken. Our most important legacy will be the contributions we make to the lives of other human beings. Thomas Kincaid. Be remembered for the right reasons. Leave a legacy and a smile in your heart beyond life. Jasmina Sidorovsky. Dedication. The 2024 MAPL Ethical Code is dedicated to all the MAPL faculty who have inspired and challenged us as MAPL students, encouraging us to work diligently, creatively, and ethically toward our collective liberation. 2024 MAPL Code contributors: Wahab Abbey, Jeremy Bishop, Silrig Davies, Nagwa Haddad, Leslie Jackson, David Jingo, Rosianna LaFond, Leanne Leto, Catherine Morgan, Elizabeth Morrissey, Margarita Ruiz, Hogla Sitati, Robert E. Taliaferro Jr., Mohammed Tayeb, Sharika Young.